Live, local, late-breaking coverage. This is Eyewitness News 4 at 5.
Slow-moving storms causing flooding this Labor Day in parts of New Mexico.
This is video just in from Ruidoso, where roads look like rivers and camping trailers are now sitting on water instead of land. Floodwater has forced part of a storage unit at the Eastern New Mexico campus in Ruidoso to collapse. The water's also ruptured part of a gas line. Classes there are canceled for tomorrow.
Several roads in the area are also closed, including Paradise and Gavilan Canyon Road. Ruidoso is certainly not the only place where slow-moving storms are causing problems.
Chief Meteorologist Larry Rice is in the Pinpoint 4 Storm Center to tell us what is happening right now.
Well, one county is going to remain under a flash flood warning until 7 p.m., and that is Eddy County, where we've seen very heavy rainfall over the past several days, and it doesn't take much for the rain to accumulate because the ground is just super saturated. Seen as much as 1.33 inches at the Carlsbad Airport to 1.5 inches at one of our WeatherNet sites located near Carlsbad. We also have a flash flood, a flood advisory that's going to remain in effect across areas of Chavez County, and that's going to be in effect until about 5:30, as I mentioned. Yes, and there's also a flood warning that's in Lincoln County until 6:45. The good news is that the flood warnings across Luna County, Doña Ana County, Grant County, and Sierra County have just expired. So the only area of concern right now is southeastern New Mexico. And as you take a look at the map, we've got plenty of tropical air, and blame it all on what was a hurricane, Hurricane John, sending all that moisture into the southwest. And we're still going to see the possibility of some flash flooding in Chavez County and Lincoln County through late tonight. That's where a flash flood watch will remain in effect. Meanwhile, in the north, it's looking fairly dry, but there are a few showers that we'll be tracking later in the broadcast.
The flooding is affecting traveling in the state. The Doña Ana County Sheriff's Department says Highway 185 near Fort Selden is closed right now due to flooding. And in western New Mexico, Highway 154 and Highway 211 south of US 180 are also closed because of flooding.
Starting tomorrow, Hatch residents whose homes were flooded out will have a chance to meet face-to-face with state and federal representatives about how to get the recovery effort going. In mid-August, an arroyo breach sending floodwaters into the village. Up to 400 homes were damaged. The Mobile Disaster Recovery Center will be located at the Hatch Municipal Building. Before visiting the center, residents should register for help by calling 1-800-621-FEMA. You can find that number at KOB-TV.com under 4 links.
In the metro area, no place has suffered more than Martineztown. And now the man who represents one of the city's oldest neighborhoods is demanding flood control there become more proactive instead of reactive. Shelton Dodson is live in Martineztown with how he plans to do that. Shelton.
Well, Tom, there's no question Albuquerque is booming, and there is a long list of capital outlay programs that must be addressed here in the Duke City. But City Councilor Isaac Benton is also demanding that funding the new doesn't lead to forgetting about the old. Earlier this summer, the youngest generation of historic Martineztown demanded help for their neighborhood that has been flooded over and over again. While most agreed these summer storms are unlike any seen here before, these scenes have become all too frequent. And now, City Councilor Isaac Benton is demanding areas like Martineztown and Barelas become a top priority.
I'm calling on this to be moved up the list and investigate the problems.
On Wednesday, Benton will send a resolution to City Council to prioritize new infrastructure and repair existing systems for better flood control. Those who have called these neighborhoods home for their entire lives say they already know where the problems lie.
The drain is pretty good size at the top, but you look at the bottom, the drain pipe is very small. So it can't handle the flood, can't handle the water supply.
I believe that we could do a better job of preventative maintenance, primarily on the pumping systems.
Martineztown residents say they are happy that Benton is taking up their fight, but still they wonder if he too is fighting a losing battle. They say for decades they've heard promises of change, and the more they hear, the more things seem to stay the same.
Do you think that this one's going to turn out to be any different?
I doubt it. I really doubt it, but I'm hoping that maybe they will do something finally.
Again, the issue of flood control here in Martineztown and Morelos goes before City Council on Wednesday. That meeting starts at 5 o'clock, and of course, it is open to the public. Reporting live from Martineztown, Shelton Dotson, Eyewitness News 4.
Even with all the rain, just 2 human cases of the West Nile virus have been reported in New Mexico this year. But that doesn't mean the mosquitoes aren't carrying it. An entomologist in Doña Ana County says 13 of 34 mosquitoes they trapped tested positive for West Nile. This rainy season has created ideal breeding conditions for mosquitoes, and they pass the virus on to humans. Only 1% of people infected develop meningitis or encephalitis, which can lead to death. Keep it right here for continuing coverage of the summer storms and the different ways they affect us. You can get news and weather updates anytime at KOB-TV.com.
Right now, state police are investigating an officer-involved shooting that left 1 man dead. It happened last night in Santa Fe. Investigators say 2 Santa Fe police officers responded to a report of a suicidal man around midnight. Authorities say when the 2 officers approached 52-year-old Robert Garcia, he came at them with a knife. The officers fired, killing Garcia. Police are not saying much about Albuquerque's latest homicide, other than that they are searching for a suspect. A man was shot and killed at the Warren Apartments near Louisiana and Gibson at about 10 o'clock last night. Residents at the complex called police after hearing gunshots. Police found a man lying face down in the courtyard. The victim was shot in the chest. His name is not being released.
A 4-wheeling adventure puts a mom and daughter in the hospital. They crashed at about 11 this morning near Montesa Park, that's near the Sunport. Bernalillo County Sheriff's deputies say the 2 were trying to go up a dune when the 4-wheeler flipped and rolled over both of them. The girl has a broken pelvis and was airlifted to UNM Hospital. The mom suffered neck and back injuries. They were both wearing helmets.
Jury selection starts tomorrow for former state treasurer Robert Vihil's retrial. Vihil's first corruption case ended with a hung jury. He's accused of demanding kickbacks from investment advisors in exchange for state business. The defense requested a change of venue. Vihil's lawyers said attack ads between U.S. Congresswoman Heather Wilson and her opponent, Attorney General Patricia Madrid, about the case would taint the jury pool, but a judge did not agree. Folks in Las Vegas go to the polls tomorrow to vote on a sales tax increase that would help solve the city's water crisis. The sales tax would add a penny to every $4 spent. It would generate an estimated $6 million for water projects. Before the rainy season, city leaders expected the city's water supply to run dry by fall.
Dozens of union members promised to push for a state minimum wage increase at the next legislative session in January. Today, Santa Fe Mayor David Koss thanked union members for helping him pass the city's living wage law. At $9.50 an hour, it is one of the highest minimum wage rates in the country. And while less than 10% of New Mexico's workforce is unionized, leaders expect organized labor to remain strong, and they're optimistic about getting a minimum wage increase.
In New Mexico, we are very, very fortunate. Nationally, we're not as fortunate as we are here. We have a great window of opportunity in New Mexico with a labor-friendly administration.
Congress declared Labor Day a national holiday back in 1894 to honor our nation's workers. Today, only 12% of workers nationwide are in unions, down from a high of 20% in the early 1980s. Some use this Labor Day to rally for the rights of illegal immigrants. In Phoenix, thousands turned out waving American flags and signs with messages about their fight for rights here in the U.S. Some activists there started a water-only fast on Friday leading up to today's demonstration. As the lawmakers deal with immigration reform on Capitol Hill, one of the sticking points is citizenship versus punishment. The Senate bill offers a path to legalization, while the House version declares all undocumented workers felons.
A deadly 24 hours for American forces in Iraq. 6 members of the U.S. military were killed. They include 2 Marines and 4 soldiers. Separate roadside bombings killed 3 of them. Another died of non-combat injuries. The U.S. military has not released the names of those killed.
People all over the world are mourning the loss of TV personality and naturalist Steve Irwin, better known as the crocodile hunter. As Leanne Gregg reports, a poisonous stingray punctured Irwin's heart while he was working on a TV series called The Ocean's Deadliest.
Television personality Steve Irwin's fearless exuberance and love of all things wild catapulted him to international fame. In a freak accident while filming off the Great Barrier Reef, Irwin was killed not by a crocodile or venomous snake, but by a stingray, a sea creature usually considered passive.
These animals normally are not aggressive at all. I mean, there are various places in the world where you can swim with them and you can feed them in the wild.
Irwin was swimming on top of the stingray when a barb from its tail, which is sharp as a knife, pierced his heart.
It's likely that he possibly died instantly when the barb hit him, and I hope he never felt any pain.
Crew members aboard their boat performed CPR. By the time he was taken to a hospital, it was too late.
The world has lost a great wildlife icon, a passionate conservationist, and one of the proudest dads on the planet.
Irwin is survived by his American wife, Terry, from Oregon, their 8-year-old daughter, Bindi Sue, and son, Bob, who'll soon be 3.
Come on, Trickster.
In his Australian homeland and around the world, the beloved crocodile hunter who once said he would put his life on the line to save animals is being remembered as a trailblazer, one whose passion for wildlife is his legacy.
I'm just focused. It's just tunnel vision, mate. What? Me and the crop, that's it.
Leanne Gregg, NBC News.
Irwin lived in Queensland, Australia, where he and his family developed a wildlife park, which is a major tourist attraction. He was 44.
Officials in Virginia say Tropical Storm Ernesto killed 6 people and caused $33 million in damage. The storm hit the state as a tropical depression on Friday, flooding streets and taking down power lines. 3 people were killed in car accidents, while 2 others died when a tree crashed into their mobile home. An 83-year-old woman died of carbon monoxide poisoning from a portable generator. Thousands are still without power.
Hot air balloons lighting up the morning sky in Albuquerque. Next at 5, this mass ascension is all about honoring those who put their lives on the line and gave us hope at a time when many had none left.
And mobile soup kitchens that feed the homeless are in danger of being driven out of many communities. Hear both sides of the controversy.
Live, local, late-breaking coverage with Carla Aragon, Tom Joles, and meteorologist Larry Rice. You're watching Eyewitness News 4 at 5.
Homemade lasagna, a meal that can't be rushed. Well, now everything you love about the taste of lasagna is on a pizza. Ooh, Mamma mia! Look at that. Introducing the new Sicilian lasagna pizza from Pizza Hut. Hearty beef topping and a blend of mozzarella, creamy ricotta, and Parmesan cheese, all on a seasoned crust. It's just $10.99.
Why you don't make pizza like this?
Go for the good stuff. Right now for just $5 more at any medium one-topping pizza.
I'm Secretary of State Rebecca V. Hilhudon and Chief Elections Officer for the state. New Mexico is required by federal law to provide all election materials in English and Spanish. To comply with this federal law, your voter ID cards were printed in English and Spanish for the upcoming general election in November. We will also be translating the ballot into the Navajo language. Let's keep democracy working for all of us. Register and vote. Thank you.
Buddy Check for Health Tips, Channel 4's commitment to the women of New Mexico.
There's no sure way to avoid breast cancer, but some healthy lifestyle choices may reduce your risk for the disease. All women should try to be physically active, maintain a healthy weight, cut down on bad fats and consume more good ones, and limit alcohol intake to less than 1 alcoholic drink a day.
This Buddy Check for Health Tip is brought to you by Loveless Women's Hospital and Channel 4.
To demonstrate the new LG Plasma HD TV, we could show you 300-pound linebackers. But we found most sports enthusiasts prefer watching girls in bikinis. Imagine them life-size. Or, if you prefer, 300-pound linebackers. Come to Bios and pay no money down, no interest, and no payments for 24 months. Life's good at Bios Electronics and Appliances in Albuquerque and Santa Fe.
CarMax puts every used car we sell through a thorough 125-point inspection. Why? So we make sure you get a vehicle with brakes and tires you can rely on, electrical systems that function properly, and an engine, fuel system, and drivetrain you can count on. Why do we sweat the details? So you don't have to. And well, our name's on it. Start the search for your next used car at CarMax. CarMax, the way car buying should be.
A mass ascension this morning at Balloon Fiesta Park focused attention on the September 11th terrorist attacks. The Dawn Patrol acted as a candlelight vigil to remember the people who died on that day. A group of bikers with torches across America stopped in Albuquerque on their way to Ground Zero. Their mission to make September 11th a holiday and to honor the first responders, the people who gave us hope when many of us thought there was none.
We're thanking them very much for how they put their lives on the line to rescue and save people that they don't even know.
New Mexico was the first state to make 9/11 a recognition day for all first responders. Also along for the ride is a decorated semi that has the names of all the victims printed on the side. Inside are two memorials to 9/11. One is called Release of Souls, a sculpture that will be placed at Ground Zero. The other is a beaded quilt.
Another 1,000 Ground Zero workers have joined the class action lawsuit against New York City. About 6,000 plaintiffs say the city was negligent when it allowed Ground Zero workers to breathe in toxic dust. The suit says the city did not provide proper ventilators and masks for workers.
We're seeing respiratory problems looming as the most significant physical health effect from the 9/11 exposures.
The city says it cannot be held responsible for terror-related catastrophes. A judge is expected to rule soon if the class action lawsuit can go forward.
In many places, people who feed the homeless are under attack. More and more cities ban feeding the needy in public places. Those in favor of the law say it helps the homeless, while opponents say it makes them starve. Kristen Dahlgren has more.
For many with no place to turn,
grab a tray and walk to the red van, get your food, and come back in the park and eat.
This can be the fine line between life and death.
If it wasn't for her, a lot of us wouldn't even have anything to eat.
But now mobile soup kitchens that bring food to the hungry are in danger of being driven out of several American cities. In July, Las Vegas banned feedings in most parks, joining a list of places across the country with restrictions on where the needy can be fed. In Dallas, homeless can only be served in designated zones. In Atlanta, an executive order prohibits feeding the homeless in public.
How many people have to starve today?
And in Orlando, protesters rallied against a new law making mass feedings illegal in many parks.
They're declaring war on us.
Some say it is a growing trend to try to hide the homeless.
They're driven, I think, by a desire to keep poor people out of public places, really to make poor people invisible, to sweep them away.
But cities that pass the bans claim the laws help the homeless by sending them to shelters,
PB&J,
where they can get a meal alongside counseling and job training. Even some former homeless agree.
They need to come in for help to get off the streets. It's not going to get any better for them. It's only going to get worse.
And some say it isn't about the homeless at all.
This is about city parks and what they're designated for, and they're not to be turned into soup kitchens.
But here on the streets, many homeless say those soup mobiles mean survival, and taking them away could mean an end to more than just the food lines. Kristen Dahlgren, NBC News.
We called Joy Junction today, and they say there are not any mobile feeding vans in Albuquerque.
New research says drinking alcohol during early pregnancy can increase the odds that the child in the womb will develop some type of alcohol dependency before their 18th birthday. Researchers in Australia followed more than 2,000 kids from birth to 21. Teens whose mothers had 3 or more drinks on any occasion during their first trimester were more than twice as likely as other teens to develop an alcohol disorder before their 18th birthday.
All right, Larry, lots of rain on this Labor Day.
It's all down south, and it's actually cleared out in the north where it was very gray yesterday. And a look at live pinpoint Doppler max showing isolated showers north, Still problems to contend with in the south, and we'll zero in on the flash flood warning that continues in Eddy County. Now, the rain appears to have eased up a bit on the radar, but the runoff continues, and that flash flood warning in Eddy County is till 7 p.m. We've got a flood advisor in Chavez County until 5:30, and a flood warning in effect in Lincoln County. And here the problem throughout the day has been the water spilling over the spillway at Lake Mescalero going into Carrizo Creek, so we've got some big problems that continue there with the runoff. Meanwhile, the flood warnings have expired across the southeast, but there are still some showers on the horizon, so you're not done with the rain just yet, and we're monitoring some showers in the north, including one that's pulling out of the Santa Fe area and pushing south to southwest, and that could be bringing an isolated shower to the East Mountain area, and we've got that in the forecast. Right now, I'll look at some of those rain totals. Again, 1.5 inches Carlsbad, 2/3 around Ruidoso, Hagerman south of Roswell with about 1/2 inch, and Silver City with 1/3 of an inch. While in Albuquerque, it's been a dry, comfortable Labor Day with temperatures a bit below the average. We're in the mid-70s right now with a south wind at 8 miles an hour. Here's a look at the satellite view. We've got this tremendous amount of moisture that continues to stream up from what's left of what was a hurricane. It's not even named anymore. Hurricane Center not tracking. It's just a tropical low pressure system right now, and that air continues to stream in while dry air comes in from the north, and we're looking at temperatures that remain very cool across the south. Got to go up into the northwest corner of the state with 84 in Farmington, 80 in Gallup. The jet stream continues to pump that moisture into the area, but this ridge of high pressure may settle things down for a couple of days, and we're not looking for much in the way of really hot temperatures. That'll all stay well out to the west underneath that big ridge of high pressure. What we're looking at is a flash flood watch that'll remain in effect in Chavez and Lincoln County through late tonight, and then things settle down a bit for tomorrow. We'll start off the day with quiet conditions. We head into the afternoon with a chance of some showers popping up, mainly in the south, but there's a slight chance in the north, and we'll continue that into Wednesday as we start to get a little more heat during the afternoon, and that'll continue to fire up those thunderstorms. We head to the southeast where it'll be a cool night, and tomorrow a little warmer with highs mostly in the 70s, couple of low 80s. We'll head to the southwest where it's going to be cool to mild overnight, a couple of 60s, but 70s to low 80s, well below average for this time of year. In the Four Corners, overnight in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, and about a 20% chance of a late day shower near the mountains with 70s and mid 80s. Northeastern New Mexico, we start off in some places in the mid 30s. Yeah, it certainly feels like fall's in the air. Lots of highs in the 70s to near 80. Santa Fe, Espanola, and Los Alamos, a couple of isolated evening thunderstorms and a 20% chance of a return performance tomorrow. Highs in the 70s to near 80. Got a slight chance of an evening shower in the East Mountains. Highs tomorrow only in the 60s, a 20% chance of a late day shower. From Placitas to Belen, 50s overnight. That's kind of cool. Highs in the low 80s with a 20% chance of a late day shower. And for Albuquerque, 57 in the Heights. Tomorrow, 81 degrees. And our 7-day forecast has a chance of showers in the afternoon up to the weekend. We're looking at temperatures in the mid 70s toward Thursday, but we'll warm back into the low 80s by the weekend.
After NBC Nightly News, we'll be back at 6 with more New Mexico stories you will want to see. We're going to show you more pictures of the flooding in Ruidoso. Eyewitness News 4 gives you a first-hand look at the situation down there coming up at 6. And we'll look into a pair of women who police say are into fakes. First, they were busted for making fake $20 bills. Now police say they've moved into a new field. What that is right after NBC Nightly News.
But first at 5.
Whatever little amount he had was not worth my brother's life.
That woman talks about losing her only brother in a senseless crime.
Look at the Powerball jackpot now. Watch live drawings Wednesdays and Saturdays at 8:59 p.m.
This fruit smoothie is great. You know, there's real fruit in it and it's fat-free.
This fruit smoothie is fat-free and has real fruit in it?
Yeah, honey, that's what I just said. If you'd been listening, you would have heard I said it has real fruit in it and it's fat-free.
Didn't you hear me? I said that a minute ago.
No, I guess I wasn't paying attention. Sorry.
You?
Yeah, I know.
Real fruit smoothies. Drive in for Sonic's new peach smoothie, a delicious combination of real peaches and creamy yogurt. And now swipe your credit or My Sonic card from your car, only at Sonic.
New Mexico is under siege by methamphetamine dealers.
As an Albuquerque police officer in the child abuse unit, I saw firsthand what methamphetamine does to families. So did Gary King. As a state representative, Gary passed the first law banning meth labs. Now Gary's running for Attorney General to finish the job and stop the manufacturing of methamphetamine.
As Attorney General, I'll protect our communities from meth dealers, and I'll protect our children, period.
Questions, comments, call Feedback 4.
I'm looking for real value in fitness equipment.
You're looking for the fitness superstore, where value and satisfaction is the only way we do business.
I'm looking for low prices.
You're looking for the fitness superstore, where we have 14 models of treadmills starting at only $7.99.
I'm looking for service after the sale.
You're looking for the fitness superstore. When something breaks, we fix it. We even make house calls.
I'm looking for the fitness superstore.
2 huge showrooms for your convenience. For value, low prices, and service, it's the fitness superstore. Live well.
It's a brand new you. You give me something to smile about, like a dream come true. It's easy for me to see. It's a brand new you.
With braces, you can have a brand new you. Dr. Mitchell Silverman provides orthodontic treatment with no down payment and low monthly payments. Now that's something to smile about. Call 1-800-4BRACES.
It looks ridiculous. I can't even imagine what the neighbors would think. It's an eyesore.
Cable never looks ridiculous. Ditch your dish and save up to $400 when you get Comcast digital cable with On Demand. Rain or shine, you'll get crystal clear TV reception, unlike satellite. Just call 1-888-COMCAST. Comcast digital cable with On Demand. It's Comcastic.
Do you hate the hassle of buying a car? Just go to BeaverToyota.com. We'll give you our best price, provide financing, and deliver your vehicle to your door. It's simple. Give it a try. 24/7.
News at your fingertips. Log on to KOB-TV.com.
An Ohio man is left to die in a bar parking lot after being robbed.
When Terry Ward walked out of the bar on Friday night, 4 men were waiting for him. Surveillance video shows Ward falling to the ground after he was hit in the head.
The suspects then go through his pocket and take off with his money. Ward laid in the parking lot for almost 2 hours and eventually died of a fractured skull.